Problem one, let's try to build today. So here, if you see, we have three tables: employee, organization, and department. So organization, departments are the master data, and employee I
Correct.
need to create with a specific organization and department. So to
Correct.
start
Correct.
with this, definitely we have to start with the master data first, so that I can build the
Yeah.
employee screen.
Yeah.
So this is the login, whatever I have shared. I have logged in with same. So first
Yeah.
thing is, let's create a table, sir. So let's
Okay.
create the master table. So if you see this, I want an organization table. So let me create a organization table.
So this is on our database. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's yours. Connect to domain one, something secret. I am doing
Yeah.
for that.
Okay.
This is fine, right? The database?
This is our database, correct?
Correct, correct,
Yes,
right.
yes,
But this is fine. We can build in this, correct?
Yes. 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 Yes.
Okay, perfect.
yeah,
Anyway, if you build it, also you're showing my team what to do, correct? You don't have to build a complete set. We don't need everything. We just need a couple of things so that they understand how they can build it, okay?
yeah.
So the secret is now, so they can connect multiple tables and everything now, whatever they need
Yes,
to do from a database standpoint with the secret and all that, right? And it's all connecting, correct?
yes, yes. So let me create one. So if you see, I given the table name as organization. So here, if you see, we have org ID. So let me do org ID. So usually we used to follow big int for primary key or int if it is a, because if it is a huge number
Yeah.
of records, we go with big int, or otherwise int. I will go with big int usually.
Okay.
And then date stamp we have.
Yeah.
So I will
So that will be a date stamp verification,
sorry.
correct?
So date I will create, and then we have modified by, last modified by. So let me
User or whatever, last modifier.
modified by.
Yeah.
So I'll give date time. So because usually we go with a timestamp also, so I can go with a timestamp as well. So date time, and then we have company name, company code, company type. So these are all string. So for company type, we can go with two ways. One, we can store integer values, but corresponding key value pair can be stored. Both are possible. For now, I am going with a string only. Company name,
Okay.
and then company code,
Okay.
and then company type.
Yeah. Okay.
So here all are text. Company name I go with 500 characters. Let's say company code usually less it will be, so 100 characters. And since it is a type, I go with 50, max to max 50
Max.
size, because we don't have any type with more
Yeah.
size, right?
So
So
you'll go
I'm
by
going with
zero
that.
one, zero two, whatever it is, correct?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So like this, you can create all the columns and then add it.
So now this has gone into the
So you can
database in the
see,
backend.
yeah, you can see organization table has been created. And if you want to see, you can edit it and see. These are all the columns I just created. And by default, we used to add a primary key. So okay, so that's why it went with this. I will delete this one. So because whenever we add any table primary key, we are only generating for the system. So organization ID got generated. I will use that itself as a primary key.
Okay.
Org
No
ID.
problem. Okay.
Okay, so this is okay. I just changed it. Data stamp I have given. I just make it date stamps. Any mistake.
Date stamp. No problem.
Date stamp. So you can say I can add any time also new columns for the existing tables. I
Okay.
created one table. So let me create again. We have one more called departments. So usually table names, right? We won't end with the yes. Usually we give department. That's all.
Okay.
So I'll
Okay.
go with that
Understood.
naming convention
Understood.
only.
Done. Okay.
And then we have again department ID. Like I said, primary key
It's
will
already
generate
there. It'll will
date
generate.
stamp, date stamp, and then last modified by, and then we have department name, we have department code,
Okay.
and then we have department type, something department type near
Okay.
them. So that's all. So here again date, I will go with the date, and date time I will go for this. And then
Okay.
department name again I'll go with same like 500, this 100, and this 150, same size. You
Same
can change
format.
anything, because this is the usually traditionally we follow this size.
Okay.
I create another table. So let me create a third table. You can see employee. Sorry, I'm going to create a new table employee. So again, I just add.
Okay.
So date stamp. So even this also, if you don't want date stamp and audit modified, right? You can select audit column. See, usually created
Yes,
by
correct.
created on, updated by updated on, deleted by deleted on, is deleted. So these
Yes, correct.
columns will automatically added if you select this.
Okay, okay. So let's try one without this date stamp. Okay, we just put audited columns.
Yeah. So
Okay.
let me
So just
select
for
audit columns now.
columns.
So we have last modified. So first three columns I won't create.
Yes.
So
So it's already
employee
created.
number I will start.
Okay.
Yeah, employee number, and then we have employee name, and then we have date of birth DOB,
QB.
then we have email,
Correct.
and then we have address and telephone.
Telephone.
Then we have number. So then date of join. Then we have organization and department. Organization. So usually we give organization ID underscore F.
Yes,
This is
correct.
the naming convention I'm just doing. Like just to keep that
Yes.
this is a foreign key with a primary table. So like this we
Okay.
follow. So same pattern I'm
So
going to
you'll
do.
have to
Then
link. You'll
department
have to
ID
link.
underscore F.
Yes. Say a foreign
Yeah.
key, right? FX.
Yes. Yes. So
FK.
that
Okay.
this is the usually we follow naming key. You can go with any name. I'm just going what
Yes.
we usually follow. That's all. So that it is easier to understand. Okay, this column is a foreign key column.
Okay.
So
All
employee
right.
number, so it won't be big, so I will go with 50. Employee name, I will go with 500. So date of birth, again it's a date. The email
Date.
again max, I will go
Date.
with
It's
500.
got date
Usually
and
there
time
won't
also,
be
right?
much.
You can
So
store
date of
time
birth,
also. No, date of no. If you're doing a
but
timestamp,
yeah, date
timestamp.
of birth I'm just saying only. We can store date. Yeah, date time I can keep, but usually date of birth means we go with
Yes,
only date.
correct.
That's why if you want date time, I will keep.
No, no, no. So there's date time also there, right?
And then email 500, address. Okay, I'll just add date time. And then email I go with 500, 250 max. Usually it won't be that much. Address I go with 500 or 1000 also max. So telephone again 100, I will go mobile number again 100. Usually it won't be that much big, but just I can go with 50 also max
Okay.
to max. So date of join again a date time. Date time or
Okay.
date you want, date of join.
Anything. Just put date
Yeah,
date.
date I'll go. And these are all
Time.
big int. I'll just select the big int because
Big.
that is a primary key columns.
Yeah, okay.
So I added all the necessary columns and I can add it.
It's all finished.
So I think employee table already exists. So let
So
me
change it.
delete
Change
it.
it. Oh, change the
I'll
name,
give
right?
a new
G-
name.
New. Call it
Employee new. I
employee.
will give.
Okay.
This one it's disabled. So I want to check on it. It's disabled. Just add it. Okay, this one. That button is not enabling. I'll just it doesn't have anything. Let me check. No, this is the one. I'll just delete this.
So it's not connecting, is it?
No, no, no. I'm just that button got disabled, right? I just noting down the task. That's all. So let
Okay.
me
Okay.
delete it.
Okay.
In case of failed, that button used to re-enable it back, so that bugged in our system. I'm just noted down. So, employee,
You can
employee.
you have to call it employee something else, new or something. Or you,
No, I deleted that was a temp table, so I deleted it.
okay.
So date stamp, this one enable entity, calendar of start, date time. Then we have email address, telephone. Mm, installation.
Just a question off the back. You can have multiple users here, right?
Yeah, yeah.
You can have multiple users. So where do you set up the multiple users? Because I want to give my team each one their own user thing, right?
I have created only one. I can create a multiple and share with you.
So
Currently,
okay.
only one login we have created.
So because I want each within the same string, each
Yeah,
one.
sure.
Then I have another question for you. Do you have any built-in project manager in this, or you don't have?
No, project management we don't have currently. We have that in pipeline, but currently we use
Yeah, sure.
external ones only.
So how do you manage a project? Do you have a log also a log also in this, or you don't have a log?
Yes, yes. Log is there. Log is there.
Log is based on the user who log in and what
Correct.
task they committed. Is that correct?
Yes, based on user roles and whatever responsibilities, based on that it is like all the audit, whatever it is,
Audit.
that is.
Okay, so basically we need. I'll give you at the end of the day, probably after this session, to create a couple of, I think about 6 users.
Okay.
Okay, so that they can manage it, and then based on that I can see it, and then probably we have our own project management system, which they will add the task that they're doing. Okay,
Okay.
okay, with
Okay.
deadlines or whatever it is, right?
Okay. Sure.
So I created 3 tables. So any doubt or any questions with at least table creations?
Sandeep, any doubt? Chris, are you on board? Hello,
No,
Shimon.
no, I guess
So this is pretty
Chris is
straightforward.
not there.
Is Kushal also here, or Kushal not?
Yeah, Kushal and
Kushal, any questions of this? I think it is pretty straightforward. I mean, he
yes.
created 3 tables. He's able to. We've sorted out what is the issue with the secret. Then you can discuss with Shimom how to create. So here you can connect multiple databases, correct? So we can create multiple tables. So each one can work on their own data or own table, okay? Or more own database, okay, and figure it out. So now we got 3 tables in the existing NutraGlobe database, correct? NutraGlobe tender database, correct? Their business, their department, and their department, employee, and organization. Am I correct? Please
Yeah.
confirm.
Yes,
So
yes.
you
These
got
we have created, I think so.
yes. This is what you have created for example one, correct? Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
So
So
let's
now let's
start with the UI. Let's start with
UI.
the API and UI building. Okay.
Okay.
So here, so like we said, I won't go with the automation way where auto generate of UI I won't go, so that you will not understand much. So I will build manually so that you will understand what is the steps to build. Because we have option to generate the UI, let's not do with the automation. So we will directly build the APIs now and the UI manually. Okay.
Okay.
So I am building first a master API. So organization API I will call. Another one is a department API. So you can build everything in one, but that is not the standard. Like we have to break into multiple so that each person can work independently and we can build faster. So let's Like that is the normal any industry standard we follow, right? Rather than building everything in one file, make it break down so that it is easier and maintainable also, it is good. So here, like I said, I'm going to create a department API, and then one more is employee API. So three empty APIs I have created. So let's build I'm editing. So usually for the table we want add, edit, delete, and view all. So these are all the five APIs we need to implement for all these entities. That is the default ones. So let me implement. Let me do this. So you can say add, edit, delete, get, get all. So this is how we usually follow the naming convention. So you can also try with this. So get all. So these are all the endpoints I just created, so that every pipeline should have all the endpoints. So now, so let's implement the pipelines. So like I said, you can search by MySQL. So just type MySQL. For add, you can see add data MySQL, and this needs a data source. So I'm just creating MySQL add department. So you can rename, instead of add, you can rename add department, edit department. But usually the API name will have organization slash as add. That is how we follow. We will not create like organization API slash add organization. Usually we won't give. In most of the industry APIs you might have seen API name slash the operation name. That's how the naming convention all companies follow. So that's why I've created organization API slash add, edit, delete, get out. These are all the five APIs we need.
Okay.
Same
Can
way
I
I'm
stop you
going
for
add.
a minute? All these
Yeah, sure.
naming conventions, can you send us a document because I want to follow it? Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Throughout the project, just send me a document that these are the naming conventions and we have to follow these steps. Okay. So that it doesn't
Yeah, it is not
confuse.
like mandatory, but most of the companies, this is how we follow, so that it is easier for understanding wise and maintainable wise, usability wise. It is very good, so that most of the industry, any company, MNC or any enterprise company, they follow same naming
So
conventions.
let us do the same too also, right?
Yeah,
So
sure.
just so that we are unified throughout, right? So any programmer will understand where the issues are, or what
Yeah.
has to be done, right?
Yes.
So you're adding MySQL, the database to add, right? Add function right
Yes.
now, right?
Yes. So I will implement add first. So here you can click on edit. So here it will auto suggest. You can select your SQL connection, and it will suggest you the table name. So I am doing for organization. You can pick the organization table name. Let it organization,
Okay.
and here you can add all the columns whatever you need. So here I can.
So it's picking it up from the back end, correct?
Yeah, it will pick what all columns. So I'm just picking that. So my network is bad today, so sorry for that.
Are you still at home?
Yeah,
You're working from home, huh?
yeah. So here you can
Anyway,
see it, like it starts suggesting all the columns. So last modified by company name.
okay. You may not have to do all, just do a few
Yeah,
so it'll be faster for you. I think they'll figure it out, right? They
yeah,
can go
company
back into
name.
the form.
Yeah. So if you see this, so these are all the last modified company name, company code, and date stamp. So date stamp, let me add. So it now is, and one question, one thing is like we don't need to add in the same order. So it is not like here also I need to pick the same order. You can pick any order.
Okay.
Yeah, so now I need to take this from the UI. So that's why we have to go with the variable. So you can give a same variable name like this, or you can give different name also. So modified by, I gave date. I think it should be integer. Usually by username, right? Who is modifying? I thought it's a date and I modified.
It doesn't
So
matter.
let me go with the date for now. So we can change it later. Yeah. So I will give company name, company code, variable, company type,
So these names
and
should
then
be
date.
as same as the names in the database column.
It can be
No, no,
different.
this one should be same as database name. These are all the database
Okay.
name left side.
Okay.
Variable name can be anything. So this is the database. So this
Okay.
whatever I have created. That's why it starts suggesting for you.
Mhm. Okay.
So date created on. I will just go with created on. Yeah, modified on. Usually it should be by. I'm going with on now. So like this, I can just create it. Okay, variable names. The modified and created on, we can directly take from the steps like what is the current when users are creating, what is the date timestamp. I can take it and create it. Company name, code, and type we have to take from the user. So I'll just give the add data source here. So my data source is ready now. I will show you how to add validation and all, but just UI, through UI I will build it. So now I have created a add form. So let's build the get form first so that I will show you the viewing and then adding. So for getting also it is as similar. Like I just select MySQL get. So get all. I'll just create get all. And again here I can just pick my secret and then table name, organization. That's all. If you want any other filtering, you can add a filtering, but in this scenario I want to view all. So I'm not adding any filtering, so I'm just saving it. So here again you just search by MySQL get data. So you can say get data MySQL. Here you can give get all. That's all. So here if you can immediately test also, like let me click on test, click on test API. See, there is no data, so it is not displaying. So let's build this in the UI side now. Two APIs are ready. One is adding and viewing. So let's build the view form first. So I will give organization view.
So you're creating a page for the organization view, right?
Yeah, yeah. Now for viewing, I am creating. So you can just. I don't need any two columns. It's just one grid, right? So I'm just picking one column and then I will going to add a table. So we have list component as well as grid component. I am going with a grid only because it's just a viewing, right? So if you want list components or card component, you can use many components we have. I'm going with a list now, and let me edit this. So this is a default view we are adding. Any user wants to understand, so just a default template added. So let me remove that default JSON what we have hard coded. So in our scenario, we need modified on department name. So let me add all the columns. So date stamp, and then it is a company name. Sorry, organization. Company name. Yeah, company name and company code, company type, modified on modified. So this also we don't need to be a column name whatever is there in SQL. It's not like we have to be a SQL name. It is a JSON name. Like it's like whenever I'm reading from a MySQL, it returns as a JSON. Obviously the same name will come. But in other scenarios, let's say you are making a API call, external API call, where that JSON is written, this is the JSON names, whatever the property name in that JSON object, that name we have to give. And this one is the display name, what you want to display, like created on. So even though we call date stamp in SQL, I'm going with the created on as a label, different name. And then here I'm going with a company name with space and then company code. You can say as you add, it starts building here. You can view it. Company type and then modified on. And ID also you can give any unique. It is not like mandatory. So it's just a ID to keep so that any debugging purpose it helps. You can say I created a view. Now I need to call my API, whatever I have built, and I need to bind to the UI. So for that, you can see through two ways we have, but this is a simplest way. One is like I can directly pick my organization API and my endpoint here. It will instantly bind the data. This is one easiest way. Without using a pipeline, I can build. Say like I can pick my API, click on this data. Here you can see there is a data icon. So here you can hard code the JSON, or I can pick my API. This is easiest way. In most of the scenario, let's say you want to do any data transformation, data cleanup, or some other operation, we can do through pipeline, where it will give a business logic at the client side also to do, rather than doing at server side. If you want to do any data calculation or data operations, so such things can happen through pipeline. So we can usually, you can see there are two events by default it gets created. One is before my organization page load, or after my page load, what you want to do. So after page load, you can make a call API, pick this organization API, and then bind the data. So you can directly do two ways. So I will not use this one for now. For employee, I will use a pipeline way, because the department and organization is very easiest way. So I am directly going with the easiest way. I can pick the API endpoint. That's all. And now you can see the preview. So there is a preview icon where you can click, and instantly you can see the data result. See, now there is no response in the SQL. So that's why it's the empty data. So let's say I will build a add form. Like I will going to add one more column. I'll just keep this up. So let me add a button. So add. So here also you can see there are multiple options are there. One, like various buttons are there. One is like this type of button we have. Another one is like icon button. You can see there is icon button. One with icon and then title. One is only label, and another one is like we have just a icon. So usually we follow something like this, like let's say a plus icon. So you can just rename it as a plus. So like this, just add. But most of the pattern we go with icon and a label, so that anybody can easily understand. Okay, this is a adding option. So I'll just change the button and rename it. So one is like I'll just give it a plus, and this one I will give like a add organization. This one I need to move it up. Some issue I'm seeing. Just to swap it, I will just resolve and let you know that. So here I have created a button, add organization. So now on click of this button, I want to open a form where I can take organization, company name, company code, and company type as an input. So now I need to build one more form. So again, I will create a one more form, organization add. I will create a one form. Next call I will resolve my network issue. Sorry for that. So, change So hope you guys are getting right how I am building and also any issue you are facing or any doubt you have, please feel free to ask. Okay, so I'll clarify. Let's not worry about building the screen fast. Our major focus is like how we can understand rather than building quickly. Let's focus on understanding what we are doing. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, I
Yes,
can
yes.
hear you.
You're audible, sir.
Hello,
Yeah, you're audible, sir.
I can
Yeah.
hear you.
Vijayan, can you hear me?
Yes,
Yes, I
yes,
can
yes.
hear you. Perfect.
Oh, okay. Because no voice, so I thought I am not
Yeah, no, no,
muted.
no. They're listening, they're watching you.
Okay. So here I am just add a title like add paragraph, add organization title. Usually I follow Z add organization. So here you can beautify it. So usually it should be in bold, and I can change. So font weight. You can search font weight. I'll go with the bold. And then if you want any color change also, you can change the colors. Like if you want any different colors, other things, you can beautify it. So I'll just go with black only for now with a bold. Now I need to add the forms component. So here you can click text box because name and code, it will be a text box, and company type will be a drop down. So you can go with a text box. This is a clone. You can directly use this clone. You don't have to click again. So if it is same component, you can keep clicking so that it will give you quickly. So I'll just clone this, and then last component I will just add a drop down. And drop down also you can see there are 5 components. See, first one, there is no searching. Like let's say we have only few, we don't need search option. You can use this component. And let's say you have many multiple where user wants to search, you can go with a drop down with search. So where user can search also within this. So I'll go with a searchable way only. So this component I will pick, and now you can rename it. Like by default, the title and all not matching, right? You can just change the name, company name. And usually, what title I give, we follow something like company name ID or company ID. So like this we follow because all the ID should be unique. By default, system generates unique ID, but it is a good standard to give your own company name of the variable so that it is easy for us to understand. That's all. And then company name variable to hold. So same way I will give it company code ID. Then I'll go with change the company code and then company code. And then last one is I'll go with company type. I'll go with company type. And here you can see there is a JSON data where I want to display for a drop down. So this one you can two ways we can do. One is like this type itself I can store it in a new table and I can use it like company type as another entity. But making too many tables also it is not a good because too much of breaking into multiple tables performance also issue will come. So rather than that, we can make it like a enum kind of thing. So to do that, we can have a two options. One is like directly you can hard code this JSON, like whatever the types you have, directly I can define. Or another easiest way what we used to follow is like rather than doing it a front end hard coding, there is we have given an option under data modeling. We have given option key value pair. You can create your own key value pair. So let's use this because this is an infrastructure we are offering where key value pair data you can create within the platform. So that way you can use anywhere rather than hard coding in multiple places. You can refer this. So I will use the same infrastructure, company type. And then let's add. So again, key value, like I said, you can keep a key as integer or a string, anything. So in this scenario, I will go with both key and value as the same, like private, public. So let's say you don't have key value, you have only list of values. Again, we have another option, like there is a list. You can directly use this also, where you can create a only a list and there is no key value, only a value kind of array you can create, and you can use this to bind to the drop down. So in this scenario, I will go with a key value pair. So company type. Let me add on like private, public. So one I will use this one, another one I will use a list. Just else is there solo pop. partnership. And then what else? You have trust. And then org. See, I have created all, and there is no default. Like, what is the default? If you want, I can set a default. Otherwise, I can go with and create all. And you can see I created a company type. So this has all the key value pair. And similarly, for another one, we have organization, right? I will go with list type for this. So just to showcase. So department type. So what else we have? OPPS. And then we have admin. This also you can use key value pair, but just to show both the functionality, I am using one key value, another one list. Admin MKT, another one is HD, another one is a branch. Branch, right? Okay. I created. So this one. So now I want to show the company types as a drop down. So here, rather than showing as a hard coded values 1, 2, 3, I want to show it as a drop down value. So here there is a option to generate API. So again, any data we want to read, it has to through via APIs only. So here you can auto generate this. So I can give my API name as drop down values key value. So anything I can give R key value API. You can see all the data whatever we have created, everything is exposed as a API. You can directly test it here. So there is a edit. So rather than creating manually, you can use that auto generation wherever possible also. So here you can see company type I have created. So all the key value whatever we had, it got generated. So in our scenario, I don't need all. So I will go with only company type. So I'll just create. I don't need everything. So here you can see there is a test. You can click. See here all the data whatever it is. I got it. Key public private key value pair. So now you can use this and bind to the UI. So if you want to rename it into a company types also, I can rename it. Nothing like I want to use key value pair. I can give like company type API. I can rename it so that it will create with a company type. So now I will bind this to a drop down. So now whenever the form is loaded, I want to bind it. So click on edit, organization add.
Okay. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, yes, he's there. I think so. His network is a little bad today.
Okay, okay,
That's
no
why
problem.
he's facing some problems.
No problem. I guess a lot of people working from home. Anyway. Thanks so much, Vijayan.
No problem, Nigel. No problem at all. Let him just finish this.
Because I want my team to learn this as quickly as possible so that they can generate something for us, you know.
Yes, yes, definitely.
So I need your support on this. And I mean, if it makes business sense, then we can go. I think we can save a lot of time, you know, and effort.
Yes, yes. I think a lot of things we can streamline through this.
Or maybe we can stop if he's really got some network issues and then continue tomorrow, you know.
I'll check.
Just check. Right, and
I think some network issues.
yeah, I guess. So we'll continue then. If he has some problems, we'll wait for another 2 or 3 minutes.
Yeah, he is rejoining,
Hi
but
guys, can you hear me now?
yeah,
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 it's
yeah. We lost you for a while.
Yeah, some network issue I got. I just switched my network. So
Okay, okay, no
can you
problem.
guys see my screen?
Not yet.
not yet.
I'm sharing again. So now,
Yeah, it's coming.
yeah. So I was explaining like company type API I built where I can read all the drop key value pair whatever I have created. You can test. So now this data I want to show it in the drop down. So now I will go to the organization ad. So here for the company type, so it was hard coded with the JSON, right? I will remove that JSON. Now I will give it as a variable like company types. So because I call a API, I will set this variable so that it will automatically bind to the UI. So I will give a name. You can give any name, but usually whatever the description is there, I will follow that name, like company type. So now in the pipeline, I'll just call API. Here I can pick my company type API. Company type is my endpoint. Before request, if I want to pass any data, I can add it. But in this scenario, I don't have anything. So now I will give a refresh company type pipeline. That one I will pick it here. And then variable name to hold the result, like whatever the result I gave in the variable name, right? Same name we have to use, company type. So when this API is called, the result will be stored in this company types where you can easily refresh it. So now I will just do reload component. So here you can just pick the step reload component. Once I get the data, I'll just refreshing my component. That's all. So now if I go and preview it, and one thing is after preview, then let me check. Company type. Can you see here now?
Yeah, okay.
Private, public. So everything I created a key value, I created API, and then it is mapping. And by default, if private company type is must, I don't want this select. By default, I want to store a select a first value. You can directly do that also. Like placeholder is there, you can
Default
remove the
value.
placeholder. Yeah, where I can by default the first value will be selected. You can see default a private, public, so you can pick it. So like this, you can take the drop down values and map it to the UI. So any doubt or any question? Due to network, I stopped, right? So any confusion or any questions you have with this, I can explain you again if you want.
Um, Shimom, you can. Any question? No, you're sure you can do this now?
So let's do department. I think rather than explaining everything today, right? I think let's
Yeah.
stop it now. How I built organization, like let's try with the department building because it is also having the same API, same data structure because only column names are different. Let's build the view organization like a department view, department add, and then let's continue tomorrow so that any doubt let's clarify rather than explaining one shot everything that may be a problem again. So let's try whatever I just demonstrated for the another entity, another table. Let's try it, and if any doubt, any questions, you guys can explain me. So we'll continue remaining stuffs tomorrow. Is that fine, Vijan?
Yeah,
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 that's
yeah,
fine.
yeah.
Perfect,
Fine,
perfect.
fine. In fact, it's crossed our time. We basically said 30 minutes. But thank you so much. Okay.
Yeah, we'll
So,
continue tomorrow.
yeah. So, what I'll want
So
is
once
basically.
building, yeah, once API building and all comfortable, right? UX, we will explain you how we can
I'll
make
t-
it enterprise look and feel, those things and all we can teach you.
yeah.
Just let's focus on how the modules are working and how we can build end-to-end functionalities. So once everyone is comfortable, then UX we will do.
Go ahead. just so we'll continue tomorrow. Anyway, let my team also take. I think Kushal. I want to see if Kushal can do this. Okay.
Okay.
So let.
Yes.
Uh,
I'll
so so basically we've got we got what is that? What has to be added? So let.
Organization view, organization add, and then the forms, view form, add form. So this same way, let's try for department.
No, let Kushal try this. Let Kushal
Yeah.
try to build this first. Okay. So maybe let Kushal or let Kushal try to build this first. So if he understands how it works, then he can actually train my staff to do it. Right?
Yes,
Correct.
yes. Yes,
So
yes.
I think don't go to, beyond the point. So tomorrow, what challenges Kushal has, he will bring it up. So then it's easy for you to then address it. Okay, and what difficulties he
Yes.
find. Is that fine with you, Kushal?
Yes, yeah, that will be fine.
Maybe you can work as a session with Kushal, Shubhangani. Maybe we
Hmm.
can get Chris on board, and maybe we can get Shrimam on board to try and do it later this
Okay.
afternoon. Okay, all right.
Hmm.
So that
Yes.
basically you all understand the structure, go step by step. Even if Chris wants to join, he can join and see how we all can do it. So that way, at least some part from us can be done, and then we can see how fast this can work for us. Okay, all right.
Hmm. Hmm.
Is
Yes.
that fair? So I suggest what must happen. I suggest we stall for right now, and we
Yeah.
continue tomorrow. So tomorrow we'll just go through this again, step by step, and then Kushal actually before we start, we will get Kushal to say what are the issues and whether he can do this or not. And
Yeah,
then
let's do it.
what do you think, Kushal? You can handle this, correct?
Yes, Nigel. I will
Yes.
try this and explore it as much as I can.
Yeah, so work as a group so that basically, and you can put your
Yeah.
comments on. We know now the data is working. Another thing is basically we will have each one as a user so they can log in separately. So that way we can track what is happening with each user because this has a log form. So I think to start with, we'll probably need about 6 users. Okay.
Yeah, we will create and share. Yeah.
Yes. So I'll probably in the next. I have some little work to do right now. So probably in an hour's time, I will give you the list of the users to be set up on the system, and then we can take it from them. From there. Okay.
Done, done. Done.
Done.
Okay. Okay.
Anything else, Sandeep? Anything else, Chris?
I think Sandeep has dropped, so
Shubhangani. Shubhangani had a
No,
problem with her
no.
laptop this
Yes,
morning.
yes,
It's all fixed,
yes, yes.
Shubhangani, or still have some
No,
problem?
not it.
Okay.
No,
Okay.
not it.
All right. Okay, so we'll leave the call now and we'll talk later, okay? All right.
okay. Done, done.
Okay.
Thank you
Thanks.
guys.
Thanks.
Yeah,
Thank
thank
you.
you all.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.